And a good Wednesday to you. We are broadcasting here from Studio 4 in downtown Wenatchee for Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on this Wednesday, the 7th day of August 2019. I am Dan Kuntz, your host. We made it on the air. I mean, just barely. We've been busy all morning putting together all the primary election results, which we will be leading our newscast with here in just a couple of minutes. But Megan and I teamed up and we got her done, and we're ready to do a show. We're feeling pretty good about it, too. Lots going on today. Once again, the heat is going to be oppressive everywhere. They have extended the air quality alert. We had one yesterday, but it wasn't really for Chelan County. It was for most of the Columbia Basin and the far eastern portion of our state, but they have actually moved that a little westward into our area as well, although the air quality right now is just fine. It's good. We're in the green, and that means we have no real problems at all. Once again, the really bad air is in the Spokane area. They're getting the brunt of the fire up in the Colville Indian Reservation. That smoke is going right into Spokane, and since we have this big dome of high pressure, no place for the smoke to go. Although we're in the clear right now. In fact, it's much less smoky this morning than it was yesterday at this time. It's also 70 degrees. We're in for another hot one today and tomorrow, for that matter. So the heat advisory continues until 8 o'clock tonight. It's already 70 degrees outside of our studio, so get ready for a hot one. My air conditioner has been running nonstop for about 2.5 days now. It's getting the job done, but I really would like it to take a break, and we'll be able to do that over the weekend. In fact, we're in for a very dramatic weekend. We could see some thunderstorms that could produce some heavy rain on Saturday. That all-important weather forecast is coming up in just a couple minutes. But if you don't like the heat, can't handle the heat, you're going to have to put up with this for about another 2 days or so, and then a big change in the weather coming up. As I just mentioned, complete primary election results from Chelan and Douglas County. Douglas County was a little late getting their results in. It wasn't until past 11 o'clock last night before they were able to get all of the Douglas County election results posted on their website, but we were able to cobble that all together, and we'll let you know. Just a quick heads up. Proposition 1, the Link tax increase to expand the services of Link did pass. We'll talk about that, plus Rivercom, their continuing funding resolution, that sailed through without any problems at all. Plus, we'll find out who's moving on to the general election for the Wenatchee City Council, Aniad Mayor, Chelan Mayor, Eastmont School Board, all that stuff that you need to know coming up with the news, plus sports. Apple Sox, #hot. Man, they just took it to Ridgefield last night. They're playing, without question, the best baseball of the year. They can't seem to lose, and their hopes of making the playoffs look pretty good right now. We'll talk about the Apple Sox when we get to sports. Plus, we have everything else you're used to, the obscure holiday today in history, birthdays. Everybody is entitled to Mike Magnotti's opinion. And live in the studio in the second half of this program, Ashley Sinner will be back again. She's been on this show many, many times. She is the liaison for the Wenatchee Valley Museum and Cultural Center. Their big Winemakers dinner. It's a big fundraiser for the museum. It's coming up on Thursday, August 15th. Ashley and I think maybe one other person from the museum will be joining us live in the studio in the back half of the hour. So buckle your seatbelt and let's do it. It's an adult portion of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley, and we will be checking identification of the valley with our Valley View cameras. We say good morning to the valley proper with our cross camera located very much adjacent to the cross itself on the very tip of Wenatchee Heights, and that camera came in very handy yesterday afternoon about 5:15. They had a fire at the Waste Management Transfer Station on South Wenatchee Avenue, what is commonly referred to around here as the dump. It's going to be closed today, as you might imagine. We got some footage of that when we get to the news. Good morning, Wenatchee Valley. Good to see you. Good morning, Columbia River. Looking good. Everybody's looking good. And if you have outdoor activities, go out and do it now, because we're going to warm up real quick. We hit 100, by the way, yesterday. By far the warmest day of the year. And we can see triple digits again today. All right, from this point forward, Megan gets to decide what cameras we use. And she says, let's take a beautiful view of that area there. That's jump off. Oh, she's moved it. Oh, she threw me a curveball and I swung and I missed. That's jump off ridge. Normally we have it pulled back, we have it pulled over to the side. So I want to say at the very top of your screen is, I want to say maybe the Highlander Golf Course is in that general area. The Malaga area is at the front part of your screen. The Columbia River is in the middle. Jump off ridge. By the way, don't jump off ridge. It's a long fall. I don't even know why it's got its name, Jump Off Ridge. Somebody, if you know how Jump Off Ridge got its name, if you're into those geographical name things, go to our Facebook page and let me know. Nice view of Jump Off Ridge, zoomed in, a different angle on this Wednesday morning. Camera 3. Good morning to, I want to say, that is the Waterville camera. Hey, I got it right. Good morning to our friends in Antioch. Down there in the lower right-hand corner. That's looking way down towards the Wenatchee Valley. A spectacular view. That camera is about 4,500 feet in elevation. You take the elevation of the Waterville Plateau, which is a little over 4,000 feet, plus it's on a tower. On top of that, that baby is way up there. And by the way, we'll have the results for the primary election for Antioch Mayor coming up when we get to the news. So good morning to everybody in that neck of the woods. Camera number 4. Hello to, that is, of course, Monument Hill out there in Quincy. That is Steve and Lynette Hare's summer vacation palace that you see. It's a fixer-upper. They've been working on it. People have asked me on a number of occasions, where is Monument Hill? And, well, as soon as you crest up the Trinidad and you start heading in, of course, towards the Quincy area, just look directly to the north. It's the highest peak there, and it has a lot of transmitters and relays and all kinds of towers there, because it's a pretty flat country, and you got to put these towers in the highest location that you possibly can. In fact, that building, that shack that you see there, is an old radio transmission shack that has since been abandoned for better facilities. Good morning to our friends out there in Quincy. Opportunities are unlimited. You can't say it unless it's true. It's 7 minutes after the hour, 70 degrees outside of our studios from the National Weather Service. Here we go. Your forecast, another hot one today. The heat wave continues. Temperatures well into the 90s for almost everybody here in Central Washington, North Central Washington. We're going to see triple digits. We hit 100 yesterday, 100 and possible today, maybe even 101, 102. It's 70 degrees outside of our studios, so we're already on the way. Now, as I mentioned before, we do have that air quality alert, which continues for now in Chelan County. If you remember this map from yesterday, Chelan County was not part of that footprint in gray, which is the air quality alert issued from the Washington State Department of Ecology, but now we are. And again, it's because of the area fires, not only the fire up in the Colville Indian Reservation, but also there's a couple of fires up in the British Columbia area, and there's no place for the dirty air to go. So although the air quality right now, the Wenatchee Valley, is good, yesterday at this time it was moderate. They're playing it safe, and so the air quality alert continues, and of course now it includes Chelan County. It didn't include Chelan County yesterday, but as I mentioned before, Spokane and the Idaho Panhandle are the ones who are really dealing with some pretty dirty air. But the big story here continues to be the heat. The heat advisory continues. That hasn't gone away. It's going to go until 8 o'clock tonight. So it's going to be hot. And as I mentioned yesterday, 100 yesterday, the warmest day of the year. We've gotten as high as 96 twice this year, but we blew past that. A big C note, triple digits, 100 yesterday. Could see 102 today, right around 100 on Thursday. And then things are going to change. Much cooler weather. It's going to arrive over the weekend. The high pressure ridge is going to get bumped out of alignment. We could see some showers and some breezy conditions by the time we get to Friday, especially Friday afternoon. We have a slight chance of some thunderstorms Friday afternoon into Friday night. Saturday is going to be real interesting. Saturday, we've got about a 40% chance of showers, some late afternoon thunderstorms. It's going to be cloudy on Saturday and a lot cooler, about 20 degrees cooler on Saturday. And then Saturday night, we have a 40% chance of showers, perhaps even a thunderstorm on Saturday night. But these are not going to be, they're not predicting any kind of dry lightning. They're saying if we get thunderstorms, it will be heavy rain associated with that thunderstorm. And we could use a little rain. We just don't want any lightning. That means fires. Then we wrap up the weekend Sunday under partly sunny skies and a high of 81. So if you don't like the heat, the cool down is coming. You're just going to have to wait until Friday for a little bit of a cool down, and then a big dramatic change on Saturday as the high pressure ridge is gone. Johnson, 9.5 minutes after the hour. We have election results. Primary election day was yesterday. We'll find out who moves on and how all the propositions and measures did in Chelan and Douglas County. Election results 2019. When we come back, you're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley live this morning from Studio 5 in downtown Wenatchee on the NCW Live channel.
Hi, I'm Jim Heinlein, agent here at Senior Insurances of North Central Washington, where we help our clients navigate the Medicare world. One of the things we really enjoy doing is teaching our clients about their rights. Like, did you know that if you have a traditional Medicare supplement, you can change that monthly all year long, regardless of prior health conditions? So if you'd like to know more about your options with Medicare, you can visit us at one of our 5 local offices, as well as give us a call at 888-2600.
I told Mr. Nielsen about Simon. He's the best doctor because I like the medicines like he gives me.
He asks like more questions, and that's why I feel like he's more interested in the health. For me, it means a lot. That means he really cares about, about him.
I like you, Simon, and you're my best friend.
Welcome back. 11 minutes after the hour on this Wednesday. It is the 7th day of August. I am Dan Kuntz. 71 degrees outside of our studios. We're going to top off right around 99 or 100, just like yesterday for today. Quite possibly again on Thursday, and then a big cool down coming for the weekend. We have an air quality alert, which continues, and we also have a heat advisory for our area, which is also continuing for the foreseeable future. Here's what's making headlines. We start out with election results. Proposition 1, that's the sales tax increase to expand service for Lake Transit, has passed. Those are the combined numbers that you see for Chelan and Douglas County. The measure, Proposition 1, actually failed in Douglas County by 19 votes, but it passed in Chelan County by over 2,400 votes. So Proposition 1 needed just a simple majority to pass, and it did. As far as Rivercom, they had a much easier time of it. Well, that's the City of Wenatchee Council districts. We'll go ahead and do that one. Let's do Rivercom, yeah. The measure to renew the sales and use tax for Rivercom, that sailed through. No problems at all there. It won 84.89% of the vote in Chelan County and 83.21% of the vote in Douglas County. So that was to renew the sales and use tax of Rivercom. Now we'll move on to the Wenatchee City Council race, and Linda Harold will be headed to the November general election in the race for the at-large Wenatchee City Council seat. Her opponent, don't know yet, but it looks right now like it's going to be Jorge Chacon, who holds a slim lead over sitting Councilman Lyle Marquardt on Tuesday evening. The first round of ballots, of course, are in the books, with just a few more to be counted. Linda Harold getting 2,243 votes, about 48%. Chacon, 1,315, about 27%. And Marquardt, 1,145 votes, about 24%. So too close to call, and who's going to finish second and move on to the general election. But right now, if these results hold, it'll be Jorge Chacon. As far as Chelan Mayor is concerned, incumbent Mike Cooney and Bob Getty, the former mayor of Chelan, will face off in the race for the mayoralship. Getty receiving 568 votes, 48%. Mike Cooney, 496 votes, about 42%. Stan Morse eliminated for the race with 102 votes. As far as Aniat Mayor is concerned, Aniat voters picked mayoral candidates Michael Buckingham and the incumbent John Alt. They will face off in November. Buckingham getting 137 votes. Alt got 121 votes. Sarah Tulla-Marie Stenberg finished a distant third with 20 votes. For the Eastmont School District Board, Megan Vibert and Lyle McClune will face off in the November election to fill a vacant seat on the Eastmont School Board. Vibert and McClune were the top vote getters in last night's primary election returns. Peter Smith came in third. As far as Waterville Mayor is concerned, there was a lot of people running here, and it's been whittled down to the final two. It'll be Jill Daling Thompson and Charles Driver will face off November 5th for the mayor of Waterville job. Turnout very, very poor, by the way, almost anemic. Chelan County turnout, now there's still some, but we need to keep this in mind, there's still some ballots that have yet to be counted. In Chelan County, there's 149 ballots yet to be counted, plus there'll be those ballots that were mailed yesterday and postmarked yesterday that will be fluttering into the auditor's offices over the next couple of days. But the Chelan County turnout, 32.49%. That's not very good, but Douglas County's was just anemic. 17.95% turnout. That was it for Douglas County. We don't know how many outstanding ballots are still to be counted in Douglas County. So those numbers, those turnout percentages will go up, but not very much. By the way, the next ballot count for Chelan and Douglas counties will come out on Friday, and the general election will be on Tuesday, November 5th. This was the scene yesterday afternoon at the Waste Management Transfer Station on South Wenatchee Avenue. A fire was toned out to the local fire agencies at about 5:14 yesterday afternoon. Chelan County Fire Chief Brian Brett was there. He said the cause of the fire is unknown. No injuries were reported. By the way, the transfer station, is going to be closed today, as you might imagine, as repairs are made and the damage is assessed. We'll have more on this fire at the Waste Management Transfer Station at South Wenatchee Avenue with the news tonight at Grand Ole Summit. As you can see, it caused quite a commotion for the afternoon commute yesterday. Well, Wenatchee police say a suspected drunk driver was arrested on Monday night after she admitted to striking several parked cars in a residential neighborhood. Wenatchee Police Captain Edgar Reinfeld says officers were called out at about 10:30 p.m. Again, this happened on Monday night to report a hit-and-run collision.
Officers responded to residents on the 700 block of Monroe Street, where they contacted a male who said his girlfriend had been driving and she was in a wreck and was inside the house. She was contacted almost immediately, and this was Brooklyn Rather, 23 years old, of Wenatchee, who readily admitted to drinking a lot and was obviously intoxicated and also driving. As officers began checking around, they located two vehicles that had been hit in the 1000 block of Ormiston Street, a Dodge pickup and a utility trailer that both took some pretty decent damage, along with Rather's vehicle, which had heavy damage to it. Received one other report of some people who were out working on a car, and the Rather's vehicle had come very near them at high speed in the neighborhood after the first collision, but before coming to a stop there in the 700 block of Monroe, where she was contacted.
In other news, Chelan County Commissioners have created a new position to oversee the county's future economic development. Blake Baldwin has been hired to a 3-year contract to act as a liaison between the county and other governmental agencies involved in growing more local business and jobs. Chelan County Commissioner Kevin Overbay acknowledges that some have criticized the new position as unnecessary and competes with the work already being done by the Chelan-Douglas Regional Port Authority.
So when you take a look at the port, the port, of course, is for Chelan County, but they're actually doing their functional consolidation with Douglas County. Over the years, we've taken a look at where the development has occurred, the economic development has occurred, just recently, both in the city of Wenatchee as well as in Cashmere. So it's not been necessarily the unincorporated portions of the county. And so what this does is this actually gives more of a focus in the unincorporated areas, working with the ports, but also gives us an opportunity to leverage additional dollars potentially from state grants and so forth into unincorporated areas and looking at the infrastructure pieces there.
So that wouldn't be available without that position?
It potentially would, but I don't necessarily know that that's a priority for the port. They're looking at the airport, they're looking at other elements. And so what it does is this actually gives us an opportunity to kind of direct and really focus on the unincorporated areas.
Baldwin is a Wenatchee Valley native who's been working for Governor Jay Inslee's administration as the Regional Outreach Coordinator for Central and Eastern Washington. His annual salary will be $84,548. Our very own NCW Live producer Caitlin Hedersheet brings us a report this morning from a roundtable that was held yesterday where Senator Patty Murray visited with local leaders to discuss the digital divide in North Central Washington.
Senator Murray continued her travels throughout the state today as she visited Wenatchee to discuss her Digital Equity Act of 2019. At a roundtable hosted at the new co-working and event space in the historic Ellis Ford building, the Mercantile, Murray visited with local leaders in tech and STEM from education to the private sector. Prior to the discussion, Murray got 2 demonstrations from local companies who take advantage of Wenatchee's growing tech corridor and branch out to offer digital inclusion services to the area. I Spy Fire and Confluence Health presented a brief look at what their technology is doing to make a difference before taking a deep dive into the local scope and impact of the digital divide. Quada's Jenny Rojanasatian helped facilitate the roundtable and shared her hopes for the opportunity to tell local stories.
Today, as we share some of our strengths and our weaknesses in this area, I hope that you will leave knowing that you have organizations and people on the ground who are committed to bridging the digital divide and are passionate about this work.
Many of the roundtable participants cited issues like inconsistent access to broadband at home for local students and teachers, a lack of understanding and confidence in technology, as well as difficulties in receiving funding to help these local rural communities. Camille Jones, an elementary STEAM specialist in Quincy, says she participated in the roundtable today to share her concerns with the digital gaps she sees in her community. During the roundtable, Jones shared her stories of students hanging around school property just to get access to internet after hours, and fellow teachers' lack of access to reliable broadband for online resources and training.
I came today to talk about digital equity and how teachers have such a potential to be a great resource to close gaps in digital equity for our students, and the concern that I have in the disparities amongst teachers' own skills in the digital world. And if we want to be a better resource to our students to learn, we need some support to also learn the skills ourselves, and just to help spread that message. I think that there is starting to be a perception that the broadband access issue is over, that we've solved it, that there's broadband everywhere, but really it's still a great concern in our rural communities. Quincy is unique because there's a lot of resources and companies coming in with tech and with the data centers that we have and all the construction and building going on there. It's growing. So we have a lot of unique resources that other rural communities don't have. But even in Quincy, I still have issues connecting and watching videos I need for my professional development from my home, and even in our school district's Wi-Fi access is not strong enough at times. And so it's kind of like a triple issue. There's the skills we need, there's the devices that we need, and there's also the access, the broadband that we need. And each of those we need to continue pushing forward because it's a continued progress.
Murray ended her visit with a discussion about what local organizations, schools, and colleges are doing to close the gap and how this act could assist their efforts. The Digital Equity Act aims to create 2 new federal grant programs. Murray says she'll be working with partners in the House to get the bill passed and signed into law. Caitlin Hedersheet, NCW Life News.
Thank you, Kat. We appreciate that report. Boy, the newsroom was busy yesterday, and we're going to be busy again today. We're all busy. But if you want to find out what happened all over the Wenatchee Valley, North Central Washington, we have a newscast, the NCW Life Evening News, and it comes your way on this very television station at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 10 o'clock. 5, 6, and 10. Those are your 3 chances to watch the news on TV. You can also watch it on demand whenever you darn well feel like it by going to our website at ncwlife.com. Sneak preview of how the Apple Sox did. ncwlife.com is our website. Log on to that. You can not only watch today's news right around 5 o'clock, you can watch yesterday's news or Monday's news or a newscast from 6 months ago, if you so desire. In fact, we have archived almost every one of our locally produced programs, and you can watch them all by going to ncwlife.com, and our website is a tool you can use to get a hold of us. We have a Contact Us icon in the upper right-hand corner of your screen. Drop us a note. You can also send us an email at the address you see on your screen. You can pick up the telephone and give us a call. Go to our Facebook page and say hi. We'd love to hear from you, our viewers. It is 71 degrees outside of our studios. Are we going to hit 100 again today like we did yesterday? It's a distinct possibility. Could even see it again on Thursday. And I have the Washington Air Monitoring Network up here on my computer, and all of the monitoring stations in North Central Washington are reporting good air quality, even though we have an air quality alert. But the reporting stations in Wenatchee, East Wenatchee, out in Quincy, up in Leavenworth, Chelan, they're all reporting good air quality on this Wednesday morning. We're going to take a break. How about those Mariners? How about those Apple Sox? There we go. Sports is 1 minute away. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley, live this morning from Studio 2 in downtown Wenatchee on the NCW Life channel.
Live in concert as you've never seen him before. Weird Al Yankovic. The Strings Attached Tour. August 13th at Town Toyota Center. An evening of hits and classics from the king of musical comedy and his band. Backed by the Wenatchee Valley Symphony Orchestra. Get tickets now at Town Toyota Center box office or online at towntoyotacenter.com.
Being able to support yourself and your family is an important part of who we are. We all need to know we're able to provide ourselves with a secure future. Some job seekers have a harder time finding work. That's why Goodwill's Employment Connection Center is here, a free walk-in job search assistance program designed to help people find work. When you shop at or donate to Goodwill, you're really being a job creator. Make plans to attend the August 30th grand opening of the all-new Goodwill on Columbia Center Boulevard in Kennewick.
Welcome back. 25 minutes after the hour on this Wednesday edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. I'm Dan Kuntz. The Wenatchee Apple Sox took a big step towards their playoffs last night. 16-2. The final over the Ridgefield Raptors at Paul Thomas Senior Stadium on the campus of Wenatchee Valley College. The voice of the Apple Sox, Joel Norman, with your wrap-up.
The Apple Sox won again, their 8th consecutive victory and 13th straight at home, with a 16-2 triumph over the Ridgefield Raptors. Wenatchee opening up the series win which is now tied for their largest margin of victory this season and inching closer to that playoff berth. Coming into this ball game, they knew that they had to win 3 times to guarantee a playoff spot, but still had plenty of other scenarios closer to inching that playoff spot. So we'll see what happens. The Sox potentially could clinch a playoff spot on Wednesday night for the first time since 2013. First pitch at 6:35. With your Apple Sox update, I'm Joel Norman.
Thank you, Joel. Wenatchee scored 2 in the first and 4 in the second inning of last night's game, added another 6 runs in the 6th, and that put it away. Torrin Montgomery had 2 doubles, drove in 4 runs in just his 3rd game as an Apple Sox, making his Wenatchee debut. Jermaine Duchamp, who went 2 for 4 with 3 runs and an RBI. Gavin Gorell improved to 4-2 on the mound. He went 5 innings. He allowed 2 runs, 6 hits, 7 strikeouts, 3 walks. Wenatchee and Ridgefield battle again tonight. 6:35. Jake Somm on the mound for the Apple Sox. He's 3-1 with a 3.40 ERA. We don't know who the Raptors are going to go with. So to the Les Schwab scoreboard. See what else happened in the West Coast League last night. Nick Adams hit a home run, was 2 for 3 at the plate, scored 5 times, drove in 3 runs to lead Victoria to a 15-3 win at Port Angeles. A.D. Atwood scored in a wild pitch in the top of the 9th inning to complete the Corvallis comeback. The Knights knocked off Bellingham. The final was 5-4. Cowlitz pitchers combined on a 5-hit shutout of Yakima Valley. The Black Bears continue to play well. They prevailed 2-0. And Walla Walla brought 12 men to the plate in a 7-run 5th inning, and they ran away from Kelowna 10-2. And finally, John Jensen, 2 for 4 with a home run to lead Portland past Bend 7-5. So, what does this all mean? Well, Wenatchee and Victoria remain tied atop the North Division second half standings at 16-6. Port Angeles loss, of course, yesterday. That drops the Lefties to 4.5 games back. Everybody else is eliminated from the second half standings. Bellingham's loss dropped the Bells to 4.5 games behind Wenatchee in the chase for the final playoff spot in the North. Of course, if Victoria wins the second half, the Lefties are still technically alive. They're 6 games back. So the magic number for Wenatchee is now 1. A victory over Ridgefield tonight would put the Apple Sox in the playoffs for the first time since 2013. That would lock Wenatchee in for the second best overall record in the North, and the Sox could still earn the second half championship. As far as the South is concerned, things got a little clearer last night. Portland maintained their distance with Corvallis in the second half race by winning last night. Cowlitz stayed alive as well. Everybody else is eliminated from the second half crown at this point. So if Corvallis wins the second half, Walla Walla clinches the second playoff spot, and Ridgefield was eliminated. However, the Sweets will have to wait another game or 2 to see if the Knights can clinch the second half title. Well, a 5-run 5th inning was simply too much to overcome for the Mariners at T-Mobile Field last night. They lost to San Diego 9-4. The lone bright spot on the night for Seattle rookie Tim Lopes hitting his first major league home run. It was a 2-run shot of the 8th inning. The Padres hit 4 homers last night, one of which was off losing pitcher Wade LeBlanc. He dropped to 6-5. He went 5 innings. He allowed 5 runs, 5 hits, 5 strikeouts, and a walk. The 2 teams wrap up the quick 2-game series this afternoon, 3:40. Joey Lucchesi will face UC Kikuchi. Prior to last night's ball game, by the way, Mariners learned that Tim Beckham has been suspended by Major League Baseball for 80 games. He tested positive for a steroid and will miss the rest of the season and the first 32 games of next year, and he won't get paid either. Also in the American League West last night, to the Les Schwab scoreboard we go. Tucker Barnhart hit 2 of Cincinnati's 5 homers, and the Reds 8-4 win over the Angels. Dustin Garneau's 3-run homer highlighted an 8-run second inning. Oakland beat the Cubs in Chicago, that toddle in town, 11-4. And Yuli Gurriel hit 2 home runs, drove in 3 to lead Houston past Colorado 11-6. In his first start since being traded to the Astros, by the way, Zach Greinke went 6 innings. He allowed 5 runs, 7 hits for his 11th win of the season. By the way, the Rangers and the Indians were weathered out yesterday. They'll make it up today with a doubleheader at Progressive Field. And finally, let's talk Seahawks. DJ Fluker is an offensive guard. He's beginning his 2nd season as a Seahawk. He's quite literally and figuratively a big part of the offensive line. He's 6'5" and 345 pounds. Coach Pete Carroll says he loves his size, but he also likes his spirit.
I think first and foremost it's his spirit. He has a fantastic spirit. He loves to play football. He loves the game. He loves everything about it. and you just never see him where he's not exuding just energy and juice and all. Now, to go along with all the rest of it, he's physical and big and strong as you can get. He's really smart and sharp at what he does, his assignments and all of that. But most of all, it's the unique spirit that he has, that he brings on a regular basis that we love.
Fluker says he approaches the game just like he did when he was a kid.
I think that comes from just being a kid like on the field. You know, the thing is, how I figured out was, like, if I look at playing football like as a job instead of being a kid with it, it wouldn't make any sense. I mean, I've been playing football since 9th grade. I ain't played Pop Warner. I was too big now. Don't get me wrong. I was too big. You know, they're checking on my birth certificates now. But I ain't play that. But 9th grade, I started playing football, started fall in love with the game, and I played defense, actually, before I played offensive lineman. Don't tell nobody that. But I had fun with it. I started finding the little things that I can get better at. And I think that was more fun for me than anything else.
The Seahawks and the Broncos will play a football game that doesn't count tomorrow night at CenturyLink Field. Kickoff is at 7 o'clock. And those are just some of the games that people are playing on this Wednesday, 31 minutes after the hour. The obscure holiday of the day today. Today is National Lighthouse Appreciation Day. National Lighthouse Day. Who doesn't love a lighthouse? Of course, lighthouses back in the day were absolutely essential, you know, built along coastlines and shoals and reefs to keep, to keep ships from running into rocks. You know, aerial navigation is the most important thing. Can I see the shore? I can't, but the lighthouse will help me out. Now, of course, lighthouses are used really much at all. The advent of GPS has pretty much eliminated the need for the lighthouse. Modern electrical navigation systems work right down to like the half an inch. So lighthouses aren't really necessary anymore, but they're still cool. And of course, the thing about lighthouses, there's so many of them still around because they had to built to withstand the worst possible weather. You know, where lighthouses need to be built was pretty nasty weather, wind and rain and storms and everything. But they're still there. They're still there. Lighthouses are still all over the place. There's a lot of people who are lighthouse aficionados. There are people who live in lighthouses. You can visit lighthouses. Lighthouses were so important to the early years of the United States that an act of Congress back in 1789 put all lighthouses, public or private, under federal control. And since July 7th, 1939, all lighthouses that are still being used are owned and operated by the United States Coast Guard. Go visit a lighthouse today. There you go. Today in history, it is the 7th day of August. And on this date in 1782, 237 years ago, George Washington ordered the creation of a new medal called the Badge of Military Merit to honor soldiers wounded in battle. It was later shortened to the much more poetic Purple Heart. The Purple Heart was born in this state 237 years ago, right before the United States was prepared to invade Japan at the tail end of World War II. They created 1,500,000 Purple Heart medals because they were thinking there was going to be just tons of casualties as they invaded mainland Japan. Well, of course, we didn't have to do that. And so since the end of World War II, they've handed out, something like 900,000 Purple Hearts since then, maybe even more than that. And they were all minted at the same time. And even there's still 500,000 Purple Hearts that they minted back in 1945 that still haven't been handed out. So that's rather remarkable. There's an estimated 120,000 Purple Hearts in stock. Hopefully they don't run out. The Purple Heart is 237 years old. 55 years ago today, Lyndon Johnson got a blank check from the Congress. They passed the Gulf of Tonkin resolution, which pretty much gave Lyndon Johnson the powers that he wanted to do. The United States Congress doesn't declare a war anymore. They just kind of forfeited that to the executive branch. Oops, from the Encyclopedia Britannica. Here's some archival footage.
Shortly thereafter, on August 7th, the U.S. Congress passed the Tonkin Gulf Resolution, which gave President Johnson blanket approval to continue his policies in Vietnam, and specifically allowed the President, as Commander-in-Chief, to take all necessary measures to repel any armed attack against the forces of the United States and to prevent further aggression. In essence, the Tonkin Gulf Resolution gave the President the power to make war in the absence of a congressional declaration of war.
Only Congress can declare war. It's in the Constitution. I've read it a couple of times. Congress doesn't do that anymore. We fought a lot of wars since Vietnam. Not one was declared by Congress, and it started on this date 55 years ago today. August 7th, 1974, 45 years ago today. His name is Philippe Petit. He was very talented and a little nuts, from the CBS Evening News from August 7th, 1974.
I'll tell you what, I have a very queasy feeling in my stomach right now because I'm at, let's see, 1,500 feet. And up here at 1,500 feet, or in that area, there is somebody out there in a tightrope walk between the two towers of the World Trade Center, right at the tippy top.
That somebody was Philippe Petit, a 24-year-old Frenchman, doing his higher wire act 1,350 feet up and no net below. He and some associates managed to hide out in the World Trade Center towers overnight, and early this morning rigged a 140-foot steel cable between the two buildings using some sort of crossbow device. Petit enthralled hundreds of people below, prancing about for more than an hour. But police in the audience decided Petit was better off in a police station, handcuffed securely to a chair.
Why did you do this? That's the thousand why in this morning. There is no why. Just because when I see a beautiful place to put my wire, I cannot resist.
Sergeant Charles Daniels, who talked Petit off the high wire, called it a first-rate performance.
He was bouncing up and down. His feet were actually leaving the wire, and then he would resettle back on the wire again. And then he would go down on one knee, and he'd balance his hand pole and lay down on his back and put his hands behind his neck and just completely relax and swing one of his legs over the wire in a carefree manner.
Was he laughing and smiling?
Well, not when he would do that. He would just lay there and relax as if he wanted to just take a little nap.
As spectacular sights go, how would you rate this one?
Supreme. The apex of excitement.
Wow. It's one thing to climb a tightrope. It's another thing to do that. It's another thing to do it a quarter of a mile above the street. Happened on this date back in 1974. And finally, let's do some birthdays. We all remember him as Alfalfa. From our gang, his name was Carl Switzer. He was born on this date in 1927, became the most famous member of the Our Gang comedy series as produced by Hal Roach. But after the Our Gang comedy series ceased production, life was not very good for Carl Switzer. He had it pretty tough. Ended up being a farmer, just barely scraping by in the Midwest, and he died of a gunshot wound. He was shot in a dispute over money at the age of 31 back in 1959. But we remember Carl Switzer, who was born this date in 1927. Happy birthday to Don Larson, the Yankee legend. He celebrates a milestone today. He is 90 years old today. He pitched a perfect game, of course, for the New York Yankees against the Brooklyn Dodgers in Game 5 of the 1956 World Series. Will always be remembered for that. Happy 90th birthday to Don Larson. Hello, Newman. Wayne Knight celebrates a birthday today. He's 64 years old today. Of course, he played Newman on Seinfeld. Voted #1 on TV Guide's list of the 10 most annoying neighbors in television history. He got to be #1. Wayne Knight is 64 years old today, and Charlize Theron celebrates a birthday. 44 years old today. Not just a pretty face. Of course, she won an Academy Award for her role in Monster, Devil's Advocate, Mighty Joe Young, Cider House Rules, North Country. Happy 44th, Charlize. And those are your birthdays. All right, 38 minutes after the hour, going to take a break, find out what's on Mike McNaughty's mind today. It's another one of his opinions. And then Ashley Sinner from the Wenatchee Valley Museum and Cultural Center, and I believe one other person will be joining us. Going to talk about the big Winemakers dinner. It's on the way. Can't wait for that. They'll be live in the studio when we come back. You watch Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Live channel.
You love to help others. You need a solid career. You can have it all with help from Charter College. Our 10-month medical assistant program prepares you to work in healthcare settings like physician offices, rehab centers, and clinics. You'll learn to take patient vitals, assist with exams, administer injections, and maintain medical records. When you're ready to launch a rewarding healthcare career, visit chartercollege.edu because we work to get you to work.
Some exciting changes are happening at Davis Furniture in downtown Wenatchee. We've decided to remodel our showrooms, but in order to accomplish our goal, over $2 million worth of top-quality home furnishings must be sold off immediately. Our entire inventory is deeply discounted up to 60% off to sell fast. If you've been thinking about new furniture, now is the time to buy. Don't miss the biggest sale in our 40-year history. Going on now at Davis Furniture and Mattress in downtown Wenatchee.
Bring the whole family up to Stormy Mountain Brewing and local public house in historic downtown Chelan. Applewood smoked brisket, street-style tacos, and our award-winning barbecue rubs and sauces. Our meals pair perfectly with our exciting lineup of craft ales, made right here in Chelan. We've got room for big groups, or give us a call for catering. So grab the kids and check out the fun at Stormy Mountain Brewing and local public house located in the heart of Chelan.
I'm Tom from Alpine Air Heating and Cooling. At Alpine Air, we think of ourselves as customer service-oriented retailers. When you make an appointment, please visit our store, meet our people, see our shop. We are serious about heating and air conditioning. Carrier and Alpine Air are offering huge factory rebates and financing options for all your needs. Turn to the experts at Carrier and Alpine Air. Call for your free replacement estimate. Heat and air, call Alpine Air, 662-6846.
At Harvest Valley Pest Control, we know you are committed to making your home and business a healthy and pest-free place. Hi, I'm David. Give us a call and we'll give you a firm price over the phone and schedule a time that works for you. We will do an in-depth 30-point healthy home or business inspection and craft a customized plan of action designed specifically for your pest issue. Give us a call or visit our website today.
Dear Mary Maids, please clean the kitchen, and the cabinets, and the floors, and the chairs. And I wish you could clean the dog. Colin is now feeding himself. Thanks, Megan.
Hi, Megan. No worries. We got it all cleaned up. Let's hope Colin gets past the spaghetti flinging stage soon. Till then, we've got you covered. See you next time, Mary Maids.
Hey, this is Mike Mad Dog Magnati, and everybody's entitled to my opinion. Now, you hear sometimes how many Europeans speak more than one language when we Americans only speak English. Now, this has probably started to point out just how parochial and unsophisticated we Americans are. Well, Europe and the U.S. have similar land masses, but Europe has about 23 countries and about 50 different recognized languages. Now, most Europeans travel around to different countries and that kind of stuff, where most Americans travel around in America and may never go to Europe. So why do we need to know more than one language, okay? Most Americans to speak only English is hardly an indication of a lack of intelligence or sophistication. This is Mike Mad Dog Magnati, and everybody's entitled to my opinion.
What's your Automocha emergency?
It's a Frappuccino mocha with whip.
The espresso shakes are my most favorite because I can get any flavor. Peanut butter chocolate for pita.
Definitely the espresso shakes. My favorite is the mocha for pitas.
A peach Red Bull.
It's estimated that 1/3 of Americans do not have a financial plan. At D.A. Davidson, their advisors are working to change that because they understand the importance of planning for the future. At D.A. Davidson, they believe in partnering together to build a strategy tailored to your needs. They spend the time and have the knowledge to help keep your financial future on track. Let D.A. Davidson Financial Advisors of Wenatchee put the strength of advice to work for you.
The Cottage Inn has been a Wenatchee Valley landmark since 1940, making it one of the longest-running locally owned restaurants around. And it's better than ever. Steak, seafood, and their famous homemade desserts for dinner, wonderful lunch items, and breakfast on Sundays, all made from scratch and at an affordable price. It's no wonder the Cottage Inn has been so popular for over 75 years. Enjoy a fabulous meal today at the Cottage Inn on Easy Street in Old Station.
Hi, I'm Kevin Prosser, and this is my print shop, Color FX in Kashmir. Color FX offers screen printing, embroidery, and digital printing on t-shirts, jerseys, bags, banners, signs, and more. With 30 years experience, you won't be disappointed with the quality and quick turnaround times you will get at more than a fair price. Please call Color FX.
Welcome back to Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Sometimes things just work out. Yesterday morning, I got word that my originally scheduled guest for this Wednesday couldn't make it in. And about 30 seconds later, I got an email from Ashley saying, we got our big, Winemakers dinner, our big benefit for the Wenatchee Valley Museum and Cultural Center. Can you fit me in? And I said, can you come in tomorrow? Can you bring Kristin with you? And she said, okay. And so here they are for the Wenatchee Valley Museum and Cultural Center, making their very first appearance on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Kristin Lodge to my immediate left, Ashley Sinner to my far left. Hi, ladies.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. How's your summer going? What's happening?
We've been busy at the museum. We're running summer camps. We've got all sorts of summer family programming, and we've got a couple of really fun fundraisers coming up, too, that I think the community is really going to love.
Was that what she just said is accurate, Ashley?
Yes, that's
okay.
true. We have a couple more weeks of summer camp, so if you haven't been, check out our website.
Okay, is it? I take it it's too late to get your kids signed up.
Oh no,
it's
no.
not.
We're going through August 22nd, I
August
think.
22nd.
So,
okay.
yeah.
Do you have different themes, or is it just give me a typical day for a kid who's going to the summer camp at the museum?
Oh yeah, there's different themes, but we have lots of STEM and art and. Fun.
Everything from cake decorating to slime making to Lego robotics for grades 1st through 7.
Yeah.
It's good to have kids in museums.
Oh, I love it. I love the kids' voices there throughout
Yeah.
the whole museum. It makes my heart really happy. It's a really fun time to be down there.
Yeah, because we don't want to, we don't want museums to get the idea that they're stodgy and full of cobwebs and old things. No, it's a hands-on, it's active.
Yes. Our museum may look like that from the street, but it's very alive inside.
Yeah, it's very alive. Who has to? Is it like a ginormous babysitting service, or you guys have a very strict? Because we're talking kids here. You got to keep them on task.
This
right?
is really
Super
robust programming. Yeah.
Teachers are hired a year, 6 months in advance, and so it's very well planned and structured time.
Mm-hmm.
And it keeps the kid's brain from getting soft.
That's right.
Throughout the course of the summer, like mine always did.
And most importantly, it's fun.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah. We have some really entertaining and engaging people who help us out and volunteers who.
So if your kid's going, I'm bored, it's not too late to sign up for a week or so,
Or if
right?
they're driving you nuts by this time of summer, parents, I'm with you. I'm ready. I'm ready to see school start again.
So they just drop by the museum or give you a call or what?
That's
Say,
right. Yeah, on our
check out our
website. Yep, WenatcheeValleyMuseum.org.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I'm glad we got that out of the way.
Okay.
The Winemakers dinner is coming up. This is the 4th, 5th. I don't remember how many you've done now.
This is actually our second.
Second, because
Yes.
Cal and I were talking about this yesterday, because
Yeah.
Cal Fitzsimmons, our award-winning news and sales director. I shouldn't say award-winning. I don't think he's won one. What's it all about? What do we do? We're going to drink wine and eat good food, right?
So yeah, the Winemakers dinner is just an amazing opportunity for us to bring a winery in. We're looking to partner with Eagle Creek Winery. Paul Sharp is the winemaker who's going to come tell us about flavors and how we pair with food. And we have the convention center chef Leonard Silva, who is a really big score for the Wenatchee Valley. He's totally amazing. He's created a custom menu based on all the flavors of the wines and the pieces he wants to draw out and the reaction he wants to get from guests. So it's a 6-course menu, an opportunity to learn about wine and good food, and it's just going to be a lot of fun.
How did you get those two heavy hitters? I mean, first of all, Eagle Creek Winery is phenomenal.
They really
Their
are.
vintages are fantastic. They know what they're doing. That's top of the line stuff right there.
Mhm.
And then you get the head chef at the convention center who does great work.
He does great work. I think it's a fun opportunity for him to show off his talents to a different audience and outside the convention center, which is just really fun to do something custom and special. And we were glad to get Paul from Eagle Creek. He's so dynamic and so fun. We got to sit around and have a tasting and taste all 6 courses with wine. And Paul, I learned so much about wine and food, and he's just He's funny. He's really a lot of fun. We covered any range of topics.
In fact, it's a very short video. It's only about 25 seconds that you made on your phone, right?
I sure did, yeah, at the tasting.
At the tasting. This is the tasting that Kristin was talking about. Take a look.
Today we tasted wines from Eagle Creek Winery, beautifully paired with a custom menu prepared by the Wenatchee Convention Center's executive chef, and learned about wine and food pairings. Join us for the Winemakers Dinner on August 15th at 6 p.m. at the Wenatchee Valley Museum and Cultural Center. Reserve your tickets at WenatcheeValleyMuseum.org today.
Recognized more than a few people in that little video. How did they get that gig? How come he didn't call me? I mean,
Ashley said the same thing. You did what, and where was I?
I missed out.
Okay,
I know.
okay.
There are no perks to my job at all.
We had Kyle in there from the convention center. He's a gourmand.
Kyle is the mastermind behind this whole
Yeah.
event. You know, he's really been fun to work with. We've been having a lot of fun putting this together. And we've got some really amazing musicians too. Tanya Lawson from All Strings Considered is bringing her group out to play for us. So lots of entertainment, lots of fun.
Is this like a limited thing, obviously, because there's only X amount of wine, and for the chef at the Wenatchee Convention Center to make the food as good as he makes it without having to worry about making a bunch of food, obviously tickets are limited.
Tickets are limited. Tickets are limited to 80, and part of that is our space, and part of it is just being able to elevate that event, like you said, create that fine menu at that level is.
How much work does it take, Ashley? I hope you know that to put. Okay, this is the wine to go with this dish for a 6-course.
Yeah, Ashley.
meal. That must take some significant logistics.
Well, I've had a few dinner parties at my house. It does seem a little complicated, but we hired the professionals, so I'm sure then it's a little bit easier for them.
Do you think Kyle would manage the next dinner party I have at my house? Watch out, Kyle, I'm calling you.
When in doubt, hire the professionals, right?
Yeah,
that's what I always say. You have all the different kinds of wines here, and the course that they're going on from happy hour all the way to the main course, all the way to the dessert, and all the pairings. Yes. This is nice stuff. I'm looking at this and I'm hungry.
It was really amazing. I was full for 2 days.
No doubt about it. Eagle Creek Winery is where exactly? I'm trying to remember where they're located.
They're up in Leavenworth.
Okay.
They're the oldest winery in Leavenworth, actually. They're the very first ones.
Yeah, and I think they have a lovely location up there. I think this is a really fun opportunity for people that maybe don't want to drive all the way up there and taste wine and then need to drive themselves home. So come to the museum where you'll be safe and close to home and have some fun. Yeah.
And as any wine expert will tell you, the older the vineyard that's been around longer, the better the wine.
Yeah.
I mean, you just don't plant the grapes in May and you make wine in September. It doesn't work that way. You got to have it has to be mature to a certain point. So when you have Eagle Creek, which is the oldest winery around here, obviously that makes their vintages that much better.
That's right. So. Absolutely. He said it was his dad's passion, and he's following in his footsteps. So that's kind of fun.
So what do you? I'm a Cab guy, a little Merlot, but mostly I'm a Cabernet Sauvignon. What do you? Prefer?
I don't discriminate.
Okay. You don't care? Yeah. As long as it's not in a box, who cares, right?
I'm a red blend. I really like a Sangiovese, though.
Okay. Did you bring any by chance?
I know, right? That's actually what's in that coffee cup. Right?
There you go. Let's go to a commercial break. All of this is to benefit the Wenatchee Valley Museum and Cultural Center. So that's good.
Yes. Your ticket price is the cost of everything, so it all benefits the museum.
No high pressure sales.
No, we're not going to sell you anything. Once you get in, you're there, and we want you to enjoy and relax and have fun.
And know that your money's going to a good cause.
You could have charged probably more than $90 and gotten away with it. That sounds like it's a $90 worth of fun between the food and the wine and the entertainment.
Absolutely. We still want to be approachable. Yeah, and affordable.
And it's certainly affordable, and that's going to be. I'm looking forward to that. I'm writing this down. It's Thursday the 15th.
It's Thursday, and we need to give our final counts to the caterers by Monday. Okay. So get your RSVPs in. Sign up on our website, WenatcheeValleyMuseum.org, before Monday, so we'll get you down.
You can also call us at 888 6240.
So call the museum, don't call the convention center.
That's right.
You'll end up talking to Kyle.
It was lovely.
Want to do that. What else is on the museum's plate as summer begins to wane and fall is on the horizon? What do you got lined up?
We're so glad you asked.
Well, September is going to be busy. We have a couple of special events coming up then. One is called Bacon, Bourbon, Bluegrass, and Brews. It's on September 21st, and it's another fundraising event. And then the following week, we have a murder mystery dinner at the museum on the following Thursday. So both of those events are on our website, so check them out.
Mm-hmm.
And then in October, we open a new traveling exhibit coming from Boston Children's Museum, and it's called My Sky, and it's an immersive interactive exhibit that's going to be lots of fun for the whole community, but especially children.
The most important thing, and I can't stress this enough, every time I get to see these two lovely young ladies on my show, I like to remind people, if this is your home, if this is where you're going to call home and you're going to raise your kids and do your career, you got to go to the Wenatchee Valley Museum and Cultural Center, because you might as well learn about your new home or your old home.
Mm-hmm.
I know people who have been here, lived here for 30 years, have never been to a museum. I go, what's the matter with you? Go to the museum.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's
Come to the
exactly
museum.
what I love about the museum.
And this summer and through Labor Day weekend, we are open on Sundays from 12 to 4.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
There's one permanent exhibit that a niece of mine loves, and it's the train.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
Oh,
the model railroad.
Yeah, the model,
Yeah.
and she'll look at that thing for hours.
I have to admit that's where I go to decompress at work.
Yeah.
Go watch the model railroad. Yeah.
Now you can also become just a museum member, and it takes care of a lot of cool stuff.
Yeah.
Just become a continuing supporter of the museum, and that's a good deal.
That is a good deal. We have several memberships, from individual memberships to family memberships. One of our premium memberships gives you access to museums around the world, so that's a good benefit. But we always have members-only events that are exclusive several times a year just to our members, and you get discounts at the store and on facility rentals and on ticket prices, like for this event.
Yeah, and if you're interested in that exhibit coming up, now is a really great time to sign up for a museum membership, because we'll have a members only opening with an exclusive sneak peek hands-on with the exhibit before it reaches the public.
And you get people who are part of this from other museums who are passing through town, and they go because they're
We sure
museum
do.
people.
Yeah, we have
they're-
reciprocal and
yeah.
affiliate agreements, and that's really fun. My family travels a lot,
Yeah.
and we use our Wenatchee Valley Museum membership to get us into institutions around the world.
It must make you feel pretty good being involved in the museum when you see people from out of town who have the reciprocal membership, and they're a member of another museum in some other location, but they're in town, and they say, well, this looks like a pretty place. I think I'll go to the museum. It's kind of make you feel good when people sign the guest book, and
It does.
has different
It's
towns
wonderful.
and cities from all over the country and all
It's
over the
true.
world.
Yeah.
So let's wrap up. We've got about 2 minutes left. Let's wrap up where we began. Give me all the most important details for the Winemakers dinner that's coming up again a week from tomorrow, Thursday the 15th, 6 o'clock.
RSVP's due by Monday.
Okay.
Fine wines, delicious dinner, really engaging entertainment, and we get to learn a little bit about wine and food pairings from the masters.
Can you can you buy wine? I mean, do you know if Eagle Creek? My guess is probably not, because I know sometimes you can. Hey, this
I
is
don't
a
know how
great
to
vintage.
answer that, but I'd be super happy to ask
Okay.
Paul to bring some.
Or what
wines
we
that
can
he
do is
share.
we can team up. You can distract them, and I'll walk off with a Pinot
I
or
like
something like that. I wouldn't do that at all.
But we
Not with a
also partner with the Wine and Food Festival that is coming up later this
Yes.
month. And that is a place where you can buy wine, and all the wine sales at that event benefit the museum.
And that's at the Town Toyota Center in a couple of weeks, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, August 24th. That's
Okay.
going to be an amazing event. It sounds like another opportunity to really engage with our winery community, and absolutely.
It's kind of cool that
delicious
this
food.
town has become kind of a wine place, and now ciders are getting used.
Yeah.
Yes.
And now we have a beer district.
Yes.
In downtown Wenatchee.
Yeah.
We're
I know where to go on date nights for sure.
Yeah. I've been to most of the breweries downtown, and they're always fun.
Yeah.
They're always fun, and the wineries, of course, are just doing great guns. So I'm glad we are expanding our tastes that way. in the food and
Good.
wine.
I agree. Wenatchee is a very cool place. There's lots of fun
And I
things
eat
happening.
downtown a lot. Probably too much. According to my accountant, I eat downtown too much. Ashley and Kristin, it's good to see you.
You too.
Again, you got to RSVP by Monday because they got to make the food and they got to figure out how much food. Tickets are limited to
80.
80, and this place will go fast. They'll go fast. Good to see you, ladies.
Thank you for having us on.
My pleasure. Provided the show wasn't canceled, I'll see you Thursday. Take care. Bye-bye.